Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by Vector Security Champions Lane, best pregame fan fest in college football. For more information, visit championslane.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. On Tuesday's edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, we'll be joined by Alabama men's basketball guard Jaleel Bethia.
We've definitely been growing since the beginning of the season. It's been picking up ever since. I feel like every day we get better and every day the more time we spend together. And hopefully that continues to increase as the season goes along.
We certainly look forward to that. What do you feel like your role is on this team right now?
Well, my role really is just coming off the bench, really just having that energy, play defense and hit open shots, and make the right play. Yeah, about it. Yeah, we go on the run. That's probably the loudest the loudest atmosphere I've probably ever been in.
I'll have more in a moment.
Tide fans, are you ready for game day in Tuscaloosa? Don't miss the ultimate pregame experience this season at Vector Security Champions Lane, opening 4 hours before each home game. This fan fest has everything you need to get pumped for kickoff. Located next to the Walk of Champions, you'll enjoy live music, player autographs, the best food trucks from all over Alabama, and ice-cold beer in our Legends Lounge beer garden, where there's never a cover charge. Check out championslane.com each week for the latest updates. Roll Tide!
Join us tonight for Alabama men's basketball against Missouri. Tip-off from Coleman Coliseum has been moved to 7 p.m. Central, so our coverage on the network will begin at 6 p.m. You can listen to the game on our full radio network, the Varsity Network app, as well as watch the booth cam presented by NASCAR, streaming live on all CTSN social media platforms at UA_CTSN. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Vector Security Champions Lane. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. When you need service on your vehicle, whether it's a Ford or any other make, you want to get into Woody Anderson Ford, where their expert service technicians will get it diagnosed and repaired right away, the right way. And while you are there, check out all the new and pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson as well. They are ready to make you the best deal possible. Visit Woody Anderson Ford today.
Woody Anderson Ford on Jordan Lane in Huntsville, Hughes Road in Madison, and online at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Tom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
You've been paying on that life insurance policy for years, but maybe you don't really need it anymore, or it's gotten a bit too expensive. Well, before you just let it expire, let Neighbors Insurance Solutions share with you some alternatives that you haven't considered. Don't throw away something that still may have great value for you. If you want to learn more about what Neighbors Insurance Solutions can do for you, call 256-763-7693. A death benefit could be a life benefit. Learn more at 256-763-7693.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
It is a Tuesday edition of The Drive. Live here in studio for 1 hour. Alabama basketball got moved up as they play host. I thought they were on the road yesterday. So demerit on me. They are at home to Missouri, and I hate calling things a must-win, but it is. Alabama has struggled a little bit at home, but we'll see how they fare tonight. And Charles Bediako will indeed be playing for the Crimson Tide
would you
tonight.
say that this whole process has been worth it?
Yeah, 100%. Everywhere I've been, and going back to my high school days, I'm going to do right by my players in every single situation as long as they didn't do anything wrong. Charles has done nothing wrong. Charles and his agent and his attorneys have seen what's gone on in the landscape of college basketball and all the former pros that are playing. Just about everybody we play's got one. And they've seen who the NCAA is allowed to be eligible, and they didn't see any reason why Charles won't be eligible, and I agree with them. So, yeah, I no matter what all the talking heads saying, I really don't really pay attention to it. I'm trying to focus on our team winning, but yeah, when they came to me and they wanted to get them eligible, and I agreed with their reasoning, the whole thing, I will stand by our guys every single time, no matter what the outside says, when they've done nothing wrong. And Charles has done everything right. He's eligible to play, and he's going to continue to play as long as he's eligible to play.
That is Nate Oates yesterday talking with the media.
Man, I don't agree with them letting pros come back to college. But if everybody else is doing it, I agree with Coach on that. Well, I agree what's going on. I mean, so it's okay to go get paid overseas. I mean, Auburn has a guy that was paid money, overseas.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know that they were letting those guys play. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I read an article from the New York Times that mentioned the Ed O'Bannon case as like the first bowling ball. And we've talked to Sonny Vaccaro about that particular case, but that's the reason I reached out to Sonny, and Sonny Vaccaro is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline right out of the gate here on a Tuesday. How are you, Sonny?
Well, I'm fine. I got the last part of your conversation with your last guest. I seem to know, I think I know where you're going. So I'm anxious to get involved in my 5 minutes of thank you for giving me an opportunity to react to whatever question you're going to ask.
Absolutely. Well, I was I know we've texted back and forth, and I know you're following all of this with G League players playing college basketball and what's going on in the current state of college basketball. What's your take on what's going on right now, Sonny?
Well, what's happening is the kids of today's generation are free and easy. The kids on 100 years before them never had an opportunity to even have an opinion or even have a choice. So I'm going to say this to your audience. I think all the coaches who are defending their coaches on the I know the kids you're talking about here, and I don't want to go into that, Steve. But what I want to tell you is this problem will never go away until the NCAA goes away, and there's other opportunities for this to wake up in the next 5 years. But it'll never be solved because I believe that everyone who believes they have a case has a case because there never were rules that were open that you defined. There's no contracts here between anybody from the NCAA or the NCAA, people, the commissioners. All these people are politically driven by their own interests. So go ahead, take me down. You know how I feel. I have no pity for anyone arguing against the rights of a kid playing. If there's an open situation,
yes, sir.
You play.
The argument on the opposite side of what I'm hearing, tell me what you think, Sonny, of that the NCAA is letting this happen because they're wanting Congress to get involved, and they are of the belief the more chaos, the better to equal this antitrust and this for Congress to get involved. Do you think that's a fair take, an unfair? What's your opinion on that, Sonny?
Well, see, what we're doing here is they're kicking the ball down the street or kicking the cans. Is that what they used to
yes,
say?
Sir. Yes, sir.
All they're doing is buying more time. They've been doing it since the beginning of O'Bannon. You remember we were talking about O'Bannon before it even went to court case. You remember what I think I told you guys a long time ago. The NCAA had a chance with the O'Bannon lawyers to make a contract with the athletes and the university so the kids would get money, it could have been done. But I don't know if you remember this. It's the 5 leaders of the conferences and the president of Notre Dame turned to our Ken Feinberg, who was representing the players. They said, we see no interest in trying to settle this. All I'm saying is I will die, and if there's anything that other than my love for my family, I would die fighting for the rights of the athletes, and especially the rights of the athletes who never had a chance to have a voice.
Ultimately, blowing up the NCAA is the only solution.
That's the only thing left. But they've kicked the can. They just keep getting away with it. The president of the NCAA, I remember 2 years ago or 1 year ago or 5 months ago, he come out and say, well, we got to get together. We got to have a thing. You know how many opinions and you know how many boards that they had meeting? Remember when they had the lady who was the vice president and all these, not the vice president, you know what I mean? All the politicians going in and settling, the case. Mm-hmm. Everybody, the biggest names in the world, were settling the case, but they never settled the case. All they had to do was recognize the athletes, and what they got today is really what the athletes were deprived of for 50 years. They should have every advantage. The athlete is not the one causing the problem. The NCAA has caused the problem from the beginning.
So what is the solution to all this, Sonny? I mean, if you go professional now, you can come back. I mean, again, what do you think it's the wild, wild west right now. I mean, how do we put a little bit some,
I know the term guardrails is
guardrails,
used.
yeah. I mean, some kind of guardrails.
Is there a tourniquet to apply that would just stop this bleeding?
Well, what you've seen now and what you guys see in the SEC a lot are the very wealthiest of the donors of the particular schools, and what Texas Tech and that guy did this year. He's my new idol. I mean, because he come out of nowhere. We always knew. Well, we always knew that Phil Knight at Nike always backed them. Then they would be the real backer. I honestly believe that that's what should come. Now, to answer your specific question, whether they're pro, they're not pro, they're whatever pro is, I don't have an answer for that because it is the most complicated thing here. I don't understand, and I understand what Coach Oates is at, who it is with his kid. I believe one of the coaches, right now the kid's in a tag one, is he a pro, is he or whatever. But to me, there is no pro in the amateur. There is no amateurism it's not really amateurism anymore.
No.
So we got to get past that. It's not whatever. And I don't want to confuse your audience. And I know you're looking, I don't know the future, but I just know what should happen, what could happen, because the way of the world, and you guys know better than I do, and especially in the SEC, in football and, and now even basketball, whatever, historically, you had a down year this year or whatever, that's fine. But the majority of the athletes, the greatness of these teams are from a thing. Get this NCAA to have, 50 teams, that are covered. There is a difference between the money-making schools and the non-money, the Ivy League.
Yeah.
There is a difference. What psychologically the public's got to accept, they are different players. Look what Indiana did to these last 2 years, okay?
Yeah.
The fact that this is what can happen in a school that has money to spend. When they didn't have the money to spend, they were the worst team in the history of football. It's just ironic that they could get this good. No one believed they would do what they did, but they became better. It's all about taking care of the athlete. And the other thing I want to understand is I want to help you understand what I believe. The kid that's played in the championship game, he hasn't gone to school for 2 years. I mean, he's basically graduated already. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying. They just aren't honest. They want it to be what they thought it would be, 50, 100 years ago. They got their belts around the throat of the athletes still yet. It's got to come to the major schools letting it. Just form your own goddamn league. I don't think that's the right answer, but you know where I'm going. The people want to see these games, and they don't give a damn how those kids end up in these schools. Does that make it more clear to you?
No, that is crystal clear. Sonny Vaccaro on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Rutgers, a recent article came out, I believe, late yesterday, that Rutgers has lost $500 million since joining the Big Ten. And it's
Rutgers lost $500 million. How do you lose $500 million?
That is just according to their budget, which you can make numbers say whatever you want them to say, depending on how you look at it. But I do wonder, though, Sonny, if not at the upper tier, but for the likes of lower Division I, Division II, Division III, I do wonder if the NCAA does blow up, what that would do to those particular schools that have those programs.
Those schools were blown up when they were small schools. The Ivy League chose what they wanted to do, and the lesser schools that weren't on television, all these teams, all the sports in college, under whatever you want to say it, is nothing more than a television program now. It's what it's a television program. I'm serious, gentlemen.
Entertainment.
Well, Division III won't be affected. They don't give scholarships anyway.
That's true.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I just think, Title IX, Title X, Title whatever, they're losing common sense. We're going to support all these, the Ivy League. We're going to support the small colleges, the Division III guys. That was just a nice gesture. These kids never got supported. They were thrown a crumb. But all this, what we have to answer are college big time sports, and there's nothing wrong with it, tied to whether it's 1 year, 1 semester. That's all we're talking about, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Ty, there's no legitimacy. There are no, what do they have to, remember they used to have a long time ago, you'd go to Notre Dame, because I'm from Pittsburgh, and my uncle used to go to Notre Dame. Before the game, they didn't even have tickets to the game. There was a call for it. And they'd go out there, and they'd drive from Pittsburgh. There are no more alumni. That alumni stuff is done. There are no guys that graduated 4 years or 3 years or 2, whatever it was. The school and the player don't connect anymore. They can transfer on a minute's notice, and that was allowed by whatever hell that didn't happen because they didn't listen to about it. That's why I was out. But I'm saying to you, your audience is probably the most involved in major college sports. Let's just be honest. Okay? What I'm saying to you is, if you started with the history of college sports and you watch the evolution of it all, okay, I would say this in somebody who, just watches this for 88. I'm 86 years old. I've seen a lot of this. There are the talent in the southern part of America, and most of them were minority kids at one time that couldn't play, that did play. But the talent alone was able to justify all the greatness that they shared. What has now, and they would go and they would stay for 4 years or 3 years, whatever it was. And we know some of them didn't get an education. Yeah. But as I witnessed it, a lot of times jobs were provided. People went on. It wasn't the best of everything. I'm not backing up the NCAA because the guy who ran it was a horrible human being to begin with. But I'm saying to you, is all it is now is it's 3 hours of $100 million that the TV networks make, and the schools get a part of it and all that stuff. I don't see the fight. People have to accept, and to go back, and I may have gone away from your statement you made, young fella, but I'm saying to you is the only chance they have is to let these schools should get 50 teams or 60 teams and just have their own thing. The people will show up. It'll mean the same thing to the University of Alabama if I come back and play at 90. That's all they want to do is represent the state. That's what this is all about. Every state in America has a pride in more than other than their academics. And the ones that are academics probably don't play football or basketball. What I'm saying to you is that kept the state together. That kept the fans, not the graduates, especially in the early days. And you played, and you know the players that played in those days. It was something you just believed in, and they made you feel good, and you cried when they lost. Give it back to let it be. It's fine. Just go have your team, but don't blame the kids.
Sonny, I did want to ask of the college basketball that you watched this year. What's the best team that you've seen so far this year, college basketball wise?
I'm going to say Duke. I'm going to say I would pick them to win everything. But the nice thing about it, you see what BYU is doing because of the money.
Yeah.
BYU. I mean, let's be honest, gentlemen. Okay, we knew they had a couple really good football seasons. They did. They used to get the kids from the islands. You all know that.
That's
story.
right. That's right.
They were very, very religious. Well, basketball is easier to make it. I think there are 20 teams that could actually do what happened last year. I mean, Florida wasn't the favorite. That's for damn sure. Duke was last year. I mean, we know that. I think basketball is truly going to be an open case. I do. I just think it'll be an outlier. It'll be an outlier. And if a Duke doesn't win, or I don't know if Houston can or do whatever, but I don't know if Connecticut can. But they're capable of doing it. There's a lot of teams. Basketball is leveled out, and it's leveled out. I mean, I know you'll be SEC. Johnny Calipari going there after, he's had a really signature, career.
Yeah.
And usually he ends up winning. I mean, so I know they got beat the other day, but they're capable. They're, what I'm saying? They're capable.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember when Arkansas was capable. That's right, and they're major.
Yeah.
They weren't. The leagues are so good, but now you can see BYU. I'm going to use that because that should let even some of your listeners that don't pay attention. Did you really ever think that BYU was going to be good at basketball?
I have yet to watch BYU this year, but I'm going to make my point to watch BYU. Have watched a good bit of Duke, and I could see that Michigan I saw them lose at home to Wisconsin, and that was a fantastic game right there. And how good is Michigan?
Well, I would have been going along with the whole damn thing, but that was a major upset, and a real upset thing, not in a gambling upset. It was a major upset because they shouldn't have lost at home. That team's not. It was a good team, but it wasn't a great team. But losing on your home court in the middle of a 6 or 15-0 thing, they had everything mentally going. They're going to probably be in the top four, and they can win it. They are good, but I think that's how level the playing field is. Other than that close loss that the Duke had or do whatever, and what happened last year. What happened last year was unconscionable. We never thought. I at least. Never thought they would lose the NCAA, and especially to lose it the way they did last year. Whoa, that was so. It's there are a lot of good players now that can just go and do anything, and they're pretty damn good. And let me say this before we're cut off, okay? I've never seen in my life. Now I'm just watching television. This isn't Sonny of 10 years ago, where at least I had a connection with the players and the kids and all that. This is just watching, and I try to watch it, and I pay attention to all the scores, and I watch as much as I possibly can. But I'm going to tell you something. The presence now of foreign kids in the league and the NBA and coming out to college, or kids like we didn't really know, these players are so much better than kids I saw a long, long time ago. And I'm not including Kobe and LeBron, of that time, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There are special players and everything. But when you watch Luka now in the pros, who never went to college or whatever, when you watch all these other kids, there's a group of African kids that are now Italian or English or some, they went over for citizenship and all that. But these darn kids are brilliant.
Yeah.
I think the level of basketball is at its highest level. I think football has limitations because there are so many different men, and injuries are a major part of it. I mean, if we're watching pro and all that, there's a lot of complications in football. The football athlete is unbelievable. What they go through today, and I honestly believe that's the reason a million injuries. I'm sorry, you guys have been doing 10 years with me. I just drift, but I think
all good. We chronicled the movie Air with you, and that was fantastic to kind of go through that journey. And I know this spring you've got another journey ahead of you. What's coming out this spring, Sonny?
With Tracy or
yes, sir.
Well, what was your question? There's a specific.
Well, from what you were telling me, you've got a busy spring ahead of you.
Well, I do. Well, our book come out, which was pretty successful for the world's end. We're going to make a paperback book called Legends of Soul, so it'll be out in a month. It did very well, and HarperCollins is a major publisher, so they're taking it in. What I'm doing is I'm doing something with Tracy McGrady. He's probably the closest kid I ever was involved in as life went on. Not that I'm not close to some of the other kids. He's doing an ABCD camp that he's trying to reinvent, because that's where his life started, at camp. And we're going to do a reincarnation of that in August of this year. Tracy's sponsoring it and doing all these things. And
that's awesome.
And it's going to be for men and women. But also, I'm not ready yet, but there's been some really nice opportunities for me to be doing speaking. And I've been asked to do some things, later on in the summer and definitely in the fall that I don't really want to go into, but I have a good life yet, and as long as my wife keeps me good, God lets me live. I'm really enthusiastic about my life.
Well, think of us as your warm-up act, Sonny. Anything we can do to help, just give us a holler. But it's always great to talk with you, sir.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Mark down when we start pitching for the NCAA thing. I'll give you we'll do a basketball.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sonny.
All right. Thank you guys forever and ever and ever.
Likewise. Thank you, Sonny. I Sonny Vaccaro joining us, giving his take on, and the Ed O'Bannon case has been brought up, but I have yet to hear Sonny come out, and that's what made me want to reach out to him, because there is, by the way, this is not just Charles Bediako or the kid at Baylor, or if you just do a Google search on professional basketball players that are currently playing in college basketball.
Now, I started thinking about that. What is the difference between NIL and professional basketball the way they're doing it?
I don't see a whole lot. Do you?
No, there isn't. I mean, the NIL is all BS.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they said they were going to do this, and they haven't done anything. And I'm thinking, as long as the NCAA is getting their money, they don't care.
Well, I did want to get Sonny.
How much? Let's Google real quick. Ask Google how much the NCAA president makes.
Is that still public knowledge?
Yeah, it has to be. It's a public institution. Just Google.
Hey, Google. My channel. How much? So
it's $2 or $3 million a year.
Does the NCAA president make? Charlie Baker earned $3.4 million in total compensation in his first 10 months in 2023, including a base salary of 2.6 plus bonuses and other pay, with his annualization based exceeding $3.15 million. He's doing all right.
Yeah, well, I mean, so what has he done?
Hey, Google.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything. I mean, what has he done?
No, I don't know what he's done. I don't think he's done anything.
I mean, what does it give speeches about what? What a good job they're doing? It doesn't make any sense.
What has he done? So AI responds, as of March 2023, he's focused on modernizing the NCAA by navigating name, image, and likeness.
What a great job he's done.
Yeah. Challenges pushing for federal regulation, of course he is, on sports betting and enhancing sports athletes. I'm not saying student athlete anymore. Athletes' benefits. So that's what he's doing. He's modernizing. He's modernizing.
I don't know. I mean, there's, you know, I guess I was ignorant to the fact. I knew about the Baylor guy, but I was ignorant to the fact.
However many, there is a European league that is just riddled with players all across college basketball.
And they are paid in that league. So it's like the G League, right?
Now, the one thing I don't know, and I've been asking around, is I would like to believe Charles Bediako was getting paid by the Pistons. Is he still getting paid by the Pistons? Even, is this like a leave, or is it, because I would imagine his professional contract is still going to be honored by the Pistons.
Right, but they're not paying if he's not playing. I mean, that's just
I don't know the answer to that. I have yet to read that part.
They might still own his rights.
That's what I'd like to believe that as well.
But I have no idea. I
did at least want to also point out a good friend of the program, and I know you probably know where I'm about to go. Eddie Conyers passed away. Age of 97.
So Eddie Conyers is an icon in Tuscaloosa and everywhere else. I mean, he was actually a ref. He officiated. Coach Bryant was one of the first guys, if not the first guys, that brought officials to practice, thinking that they would help, keep everybody on sides, work with the wide receivers. But he officiated my dad's practices. Think about that for a minute. He officiated my father's practices at Alabama. That's how long ago he did it. And then, of course, he did ours. I mean, he never threw a flag on me the whole time.
From what he told us, he would always throw a flag at your feet.
Yeah, at my feet. That before practice, after practice, during practice, anytime he saw me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd be just standing talking to somebody, and all of a sudden the flag would go between my legs, and it was Eddie would throw the flag on me, and he'd be over there doing the holding signal. I love the man. He was funny. He was just a great guy, and he's going to be sorely missed. I mean, I was around him a bunch. He was at everything in Tuscaloosa.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still, I guess, up to about 6 or 7 years ago, was still doing some practices.
Yeah.
When Coach Saban was there, he still did practices. He finally quit doing practices. I guess it was one of Coach Saban's last years. Couple years before he retired.
Was that 23?
Yeah, I think it might have been. Might have been before that, but it wasn't that long ago.
Crazy.
I mean, and he was on a show. I remember he came up with he told us that he'd been married so long, him and his wife were on their second bottle of Tabasco. You remember that?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
That's marvelous.
Yeah.
That's a fine piece of comedy.
Yeah.
He said things I'd never heard before. And
they were married 77 years, by the way.
77 years. I saw where I've been getting, so good at there's what I love and so proud of the people in Tuscaloosa are the former players who take care of their own. And I've been getting prayer wrist after prayer wrist for Eddie. And once you break your hip at that age, which he did, he fell and broke his hip. It's not, for whatever reason, I don't know what exactly does. Do you know what the reason behind that is?
It's just a trauma that body that age just can't handle. So if you break a femur, that's or right there, that it's tough for a younger man to deal with.
Well, it is.
If we could all have the legacy of Eddie Conyers, because his legacy is going to live on
so
and
many
on.
People that love him. I mean, think about there's. When I was at my first year at Alabama, there were 230 people on our team. I mean, and he touched all of them. I mean, he talked to everybody. He come in, he read the room, and he was just an icon of happiness. I never saw him without a smile on his face, ever.
And he would always return a phone call.
No,
he would, one, ask me how I was doing, and then two, ask whether or not if I could book him a day that you weren't on, so he could talk openly and honestly about you. I would always turn around and tell Mr. Conyers it's more entertaining with all three of us in the room. And he's like, well, I could give you some more entertaining stories.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was a regular, and we would always feature him in the springtime, and gonna miss that. Yeah. And I reached out to him in the spring of last year, and he didn't feel up to coming on. That's why he didn't come on. But he also told me that he wasn't doing practices anymore.
Yeah.
But it just felt like a rite of passage of springtime meant talking to Eddie Conyers, and we did that for a number of years here. And I just at least wanted to.
So my cousin Charles Wayne McKinney still does practices, and Charles Wayne's dad was Charles Otis McKinney, who was my his mother and my grandmother were sisters. My family, my dad's mom had 9 brothers and sisters, so there were 10, including her.
Okay.
And my grandfather had 9 brothers and sisters who were 10 because of them.
Well populated.
So that's where we go down there, and you've been down there, people come up and say, I'm your cousin.
Yeah, I'm related to.
Yes. Yeah. So, but Eddie and Charles Wayne were really tight. And that's how mostly I kept up with Eddie. It was from him. And his father was 6'7", 390.
Really?
He looked like me and my dad tied together.
Is this Big Sid or?
No, this is Charles Otis McKinney, who is he is as famous as Eddie was in Tuscaloosa.
Wow.
And they hung out a bunch. They're the same age.
Mm.
So, yeah, there you go. So Charles Otis was so big, he would be dancing. We were at a wedding, he was dancing what I thought was twins, but it was actually triplets. There was somebody else in the middle. I could just see half of one and half of the other. I cannot tell you how big this man was.
So he was a 2-gap.
Oh, he's definitely 2-gapper. He looked like me and my dad tied together.
Ooh.
And then stacked. That's how big he was.
I at least wanted to give a minute to pay homage to Eddie Conyers passing
100%.
away at the age of 97. We were only on here now for another 25 minutes. So I guess it's time to take our first time out. A big thank you to Sonny Vaccaro for joining us right out of the gate, as the landscape of college basketball is certainly changing, and we'll see what's next on the horizon.
Is it really? I mean, they've been so. It's just I love it when Alabama did it. You know what I'm saying? You got to see that. And everybody's an Alabama guy.
No,
do you not see it?
Yeah, no, I do.
There's some guy,
but it's not as if this is just isolated Alabama.
Well, so that's what I was so against it when I heard,
because you thought it was isolated Alabama. It is not isolated.
Well, I knew the guy from Baylor had sued, and I'm saying, well, if he can do, but it's like there's guys from all over the world that have been playing professionally for years.
Yeah, the European League
that
are just littered across
the thing, and
it's not just Division I as well. By the way, it's
everywhere.
It's everywhere,
and that's what I don't understand. Why I do, because
money.
Yeah, well, no. What I'm saying is, I don't understand why people. I mean, you have the
outrage or
the outrage from people like the guy from the New York Times, or the guy or the AP voter that said he wasn't voted for Alabama because they're playing an ineligible player. And I'm thinking,
well, even the coaches that are coming out saying, and even the Florida coach saying, well, we're going to beat them anyway, and they turn around and lose to Auburn. But Todd Golden, I'm just surprised to hear as many coaches go out against this when it's not just at Alabama.
It's littered across So
let's take our first time out. Alabama, Missouri. That coverage will start here in about 23 minutes or so. Open up to the phone lines to you right after this timeout.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, now with Lynn Layton Ford Indicator, where we're jump-starting January with low rates, low payments, and low prices on a great selection of new Fords. Right now, you can get 2.9% financing for 60 months, plus $2,000 customer cash on 25 F-150s, or choose $4,000 in total rebates instead. We've got new 25 Explorers with 2.9% APR for 60 months, plus $1,500 in total cash. Get 4.9% financing for 60 months on your choice of any new 25 Ford Bronco. Or choose a $2,000 customer cash bonus to get a new 25 Bronco Sport starting at under $29,000. And there's never any hidden markups or dock fees. We hope to see you soon at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com. All offers on select new Ford models with your good credit. Bronco Sport stock number example 27715T. See us for all the details.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Four-time Grammy-nominated Joe Bonamassa, hailed as one of the world's greatest guitar players. Blues rock titan Joe Bonamassa, performing live March 19th at the BBC Mark C. Smith Concert Hall. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Joe Bonamassa. Every show is a new experience.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
It's softball time in Alabama, and the best place for your travel softball team to play is with USSSA. Not only for the best travel team tournaments, but recreational tournaments as well for your high school level softball team. Plus, Alabama softball will host the USSSA National Championship this year at the Gulf Shore in Orange Beach and the Foley Softball Complex. For more information, visit alfastpitch.usssa.com. Check out the schedule at alfastpitch.usssa.com.
My point is that I think Code Reds still go on down here.
The Tom Abraham Show.
You can have all the transfer orders that you want, but you have to ask me nicely.
Weekdays at 10 on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and on WZZN TV on YouTube.
It is a Tuesday edition of The Drive. Hey, head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. We'll be over at Full Moon Barbecue tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
And I know this is going to shock everybody, but Drudy Armand is going to join us tomorrow.
Really?
I know. Well, you can click on the Big Zone Deal logo.
If you can get out of the parking lot.
I'm telling you. Big Zone Deal logo. And right now, what specials we got going on today? I was told that there was some specials. I think our sales manager lied to me earlier today.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That brisket sandwich is on point.
So if you do want to have a Super Bowl party and maybe not spend as much.
Oh, imagine that. A full moon Super Bowl party?
Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Full Moon Barbecue, Apple Lane Farms, the Decatur location. Also, Good Company Cafe. They're expanding, by the way. Congratulations to Angel and the bunch over there at Good Company Cafe. Jefferson's, the End Zone, Dreamland Barbecue, and the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill are all right there. So whatever.
Zone deals make it easy for you to be the MVP of your Super Bowl party.
I mean, I fed us last week a couple of days on some zone deals from Full Moon as well as Bad Daddy's Burger Bar.
All right, so who's going to make you the MVP and double your money? Who else does that? The 97.7 ESPN Zone.
100%, and they were all good, Steve.
Yep.
And
the sliders were fantastic.
They were really good.
You just get the 10 of sliders from Bad Daddy's.
Now they burned some salad over too.
Yeah,
and they had like a Chipotle ranch
and that
dressing.
was really good.
That was fantastic.
Well. It had chicken.
That's good on everything humans can
consume.
Good on everything humans can
chicken
consume.
From?
Well, when you go to click on the order, it says, "Would you like to add grilled chicken?"
Yes, I would.
Well, yes, I would.
Of course, you would. Who wouldn't?
It's good on everything humans can consume. It's very good.
Some news of the day. How about this one? Michigan high school athletes can officially sign NIL deals. This after the Michigan High School Athletic Association approves the new bylaws effective immediately in the state of Michigan. So that continues to be. And who needs spring drills when On 3 is telling us who the starting quarterbacks are going to be for every SEC school beginning this fall? For Alabama, Keelan Russell is your new starting quarterback for the Alabama Crimson Tide. This is according to On3.com. Arkansas is KJ Jackson. For Auburn, it's Byram Brown, the kid that transferred from South Florida, including half the roster from South Florida that came with Coach Golish. For Florida, it's Aaron Philo. I don't know too much about Philo. Is in from Georgia Tech, where he was Haynes King's backup. But that is supposedly the new starting quarterback for John Summerall and the Florida Gators. Georgia's Gunnar Stockton. Kentucky is Kenny Minchie. And what's Minchie's story? Oh, they just talk about Will Stein, who, and by the way, if you have not looked up the transfer class for Kentucky, it's at least makes you take a look or two as to what kind of roster that this new head football coach is starting to build there at Kentucky. And listen, I can hear the snickers now, but we live in a world where Indiana just won the whole thing, all right? LSU's starting quarterback is Sam Leavitt, and he is the transfer from Arizona State. Mississippi State, Camario Taylor, that is your new starting quarterback. Again, all of this according to On 3. This is the world we live in. Missouri's starting quarterback is Austin Simmons, the transfer from Ole Miss, who's now at Missouri. Oklahoma is John Mateer. Ole Miss's quarterback, they have it listed as Trinidad Chambliss. So they already have Trinidad coming back. South Carolina's starting quarterback is Lenoris Sellers.
That's shocking.
He is back.
So didn't he get in the portal and then they come back?
He came right on back.
Yeah.
Yep. Tennessee is George McIntyre.
I think he got part of the Gamecock.
Probably.
Yeah, for life. Yeah.
There is a chance Joey Aguilar could come back for the Vols, but right now, the folks at On3 believe that the starting quarterback this fall for the Volunteers will be George McIntyre. Texas A&M is Marcel Reed. Texas is some guy named Manning. Arch, I haven't heard anything about him. And for Vanderbilt, it's Jared Curtis. And that is one of the, if you remember, I think this is last recruiting cycle, there was a kid that flipped from Georgia to Vanderbilt. That's the kid, Jared Curtis.
He's a true freshman then. Starting. That's not good.
So
that never ends up well.
We'll see. Those are your projected starting quarterbacks that I'm telling you on January the 27th for this fall.
So who is Alabama's?
Keelan Russell. I have a certain morning show host that wanted him to play more this year. What do you know about the new offensive line coach at Alabama?
Played in the NFL.
He did.
Heck, I thought he was the Michigan guy, but
he was at USC before.
He was at Oregon. Was the offensive line coach and Bill Belichick's last year at the Patriots, where he played and won 3 championships at the Patriots. So I think you'll have street cred. And if you're at USC, you have to be a good recruiter.
Adrian Keelum, Keelem, was at SMU with June Jones. So there's a little bit of a tie.
Coach, yeah. We'll ask Coach.
UCLA, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Oregon, was just with the Patriots a couple of years ago and only spent 1 season with Lincoln Riley at USC last year. Honestly, don't know how good or bad that O-line was at USC last year, but
I have no idea.
He is the new offensive line coach at Alabama.
You know, it's all about fit.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're coaching one way and your offensive coordinator is wanting to do something different, and it's you know, you have to be the recruiting part. You got to be good at recruiting now. It's a lot. I mean, is this going to be a good fit for Alabama? I don't know. Time will tell. He looks like he has really good experience, and he played in the NFL. That says a lot to me. Not many NFL players end up coaches. Very small percentage. It's a hard thing to do, really, to make the
Vrabel's done it.
Yeah. I think the ones that do it end up very good, but it's not. It's just
I'm agreeing.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here going through the Rolodex in my head, and I mean,
just most great NFL players do not become coaches.
They don't.
Well, is that when they get out of the game, they're just done?
I think part of it's the
because I mean, you know, it's not actually a light thing to go play football.
So
in the NFL.
I think part of it is because you go from being the big dog to being an assistant or a GA or you know, you got to start over basically for most people, and a lot of it
that kind of success. That's a tough thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's part of it.
To come in with your hat in your hand and come back in the front office and go, okay, I want
right, and that's what happens. I mean you have to you have to be a you go back to being you start at the bottom. I mean,
that's a character thing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got to be a certain particular character thing.
And you look what Deion's been able to do.
Yeah.
Right. That doesn't happen.
And nobody gave him any chances.
No. But what he's done is it's hard to do.
It was a particular big day down in Mobile, and we've been down there in Mobile for Senior Bowl, but it's height and weight day down in Mobile. Yeah. And there is one guy in particular.
5'9", a little over 5'9".
Diego Pavia. Yeah. I was going to tell you exactly what his measurements were, but Wes let that cat out of the bag right there. Listed at 6 foot tall by the fine folks in Nashville, Tennessee.
Well, I used to be too.
But anyway,
time and tide does that.
But, so I've heard hands too small.
The hand measurements, and everything.
Yeah, it's so silly.
Well, you know what they say about small hands. Small gloves.
Yeah. I got big hands, by the way.
Garrett Nussmeier, Luke Altmaier, and Sawyer Robertson. Remember him, Auburn fans? They were among the quarterbacks down in Mobile. And Talon Green, I'll tell you the measurements there after our final timeout. But yes, I'll tell you the exact measurements for one Diego Pavia on the other side. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, now with Lynn Leighton Ford Indicator, where we're jump-starting January with low rates, low payments, and low prices on a great selection of new Fords. Right now, you can get 2.9% financing for 60 months, plus $2,000 customer cash on 25 F-150s, or choose $4,000 in total rebates instead. We've got new 25 Explorers with 2.9% APR for 60 months, plus $1,500 in total cash. Get 4.9% financing for 60 months on your choice of any new 25 Ford Bronco. Or choose a $2,000 customer cash bonus to get a new 25 Bronco Sport starting at under $29,000. And there's never any hidden markups or dock fees. We hope to see you soon at Lynn Leighton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnleightonford.com. All offers on select new Ford models with your good credit. Bronco Sport stock number example 27715T. See us for all the details.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he can take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well, because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. I know your accident is the real thing, and they happen to real people.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. There's a lot of talk right now about bigger, but when you've had a wreck, is bigger better?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. Do you want to be just a case number?
With offices in Huntsville and Scottsboro, we take the time to help.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy, Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or visit Christopher.equipment today. Christopher Equipment, powering your project.
Your Fox 54 weather.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Another incredibly cold night across North Alabama, southern to middle Tennessee. We're dropping into the upper teens and lower 20s. A partly sunny sky for your Wednesday. Temperatures climbing into the upper 30s, lower 40s. Bear in mind that we should be climbing into the lower 50s this time of year. Dropping into the lower 20s Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. Much the same Thursday afternoon. A partly sunny sky, highs in the low 40s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Final call for phone calls. 1 hour endeavor. We're at Full Moon Barbecue coming up tomorrow. You can come on by tomorrow as well from 5 to 7. We'll be right down the street. 5'9" and 7/8. This feels like a Doug Flutie story, right?
That's 5'10". Come on.
5'9" and 7/8.
That's the difference of a pair of shoes. Come on.
Exact measurement of one Diego Pavia.
First of all, you can't believe, I will say this, you can't believe the measurements in college.
Never.
And you can't believe the measurements in pro. Yes.
Yeah, once you're with a team.
Yeah, because no. Not when you're with the team, before the draft.
Okay.
The team, I measured 6 foot.
By who?
The Houston Oilers. Guess who drafted me? The Houston Oilers.
You're taller than me, and I'm 6 feet.
I know it. And that's now, and I have shrunk. You probably have too, but everybody shrinks.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, but so that's what I'm saying. Those guys.
Tallest quarterback.
Just like they talk like they're not going to, this is talk bad about a player, then they draft him. It's a business, man. That's what you figure out real quick. In the NFL is a business, and it's a very cutthroat business.
Tallest quarterback at Mobile is Taylon Green. The former Arkansas quarterback measured at 6 foot 6 inches.
If he goes to the right spot, that guy's good. He could be real good. He's just not consistent.
Yeah.
If
Garrett Nussmeier, your favorite, 6 foot 1 inch.
Oh yeah. Well, he was
going to win.
He's a linebacker's best friend. He'll
right next to JT Daniels. I mean, where are their Heisman trophies?
Hey, I'm Bobby White, now with Lynn Layton Ford in Decatur, where we're jump